Oh, well, I won't say anything if I ever talk to Mark again.
Okay.
Is his daughter still coming up here to tech?
She graduated.
Oh, did she? Well, good for her.
Yeah, she graduated. She's gotten engaged. I'm not sure where she's living right now. So anyway, this is the admin area. So to reach video, you'd go to catalog, admin catalog, and video is going to be down here at the bottom. Let's click on video, and we'll create a video course. And what you'll do is you will browse to the video. And I don't know if I have a video that I actually upload and then attach file. I don't know if I have a video file to use, but what I can do is I can show you by looking at one of these videos. So when you upload the video, whenever it finishes uploading, I think it might be like 2 gigs, or 500 megabytes or something. Yeah, 500 megabytes is the size limit. So upload the video, click next, go to general information, add your title. You'd want to select Martech Lubbock P&L as your provider. You can enter the time if you want, pick a subject, and then there's just a confirmation page. Click finish, and then you should be able to. So how are you going to deliver the video? Do you want to put it in a curriculum along with the test, or do you want to just send the video itself to your users?
I'd like to have a video with the test.
Okay, so what I recommend doing is creating a curriculum. So if we go back to catalog and
that's what
curricula,
right.
and then create a new curriculum and add a title here.
Cut off if you want to watch it here.
I noticed there's other curriculum. Who's creating those?
I am.
Was it me? Oh, okay. So whenever we get to the structure, I recommend creating a folder, and we'll call this video. We'll create another folder, and we'll call this test. And then whenever we go to add training, click this little icon, video is going to be there, and we'll be able to search for the video. And since we didn't actually load a video, I'm not really going to add anything because all those belong to other people. But actually, let me uncheck these so I know that I'm only searching for videos. Yeah, it's not going to come up. Your, I think it's restricted by the provider, and you don't have any that are with provider Lubbock, so it's not going to show. But whenever you add a video and you have your provider or vendor as yourself, it should show up, and that's how you will add it to the curriculum. So just adding other learning objects. So for example, if you have a test that you want to add, then this will be how you'll add it as well.
Okay, we'll have to create a test from the video. And that would be something that I would just upload also?
Yeah, so so we want to go through how we would create a test. So it's a two-step process. Step one is populating questions into a question bank. So if we come to the question bank and we'll click create a new question. And one thing I would recommend doing is creating like an Excel document and have this like question ID, question, and this will just help you organize the questions that you want to add. So and so if you have your question ID, so for example, if this is, we'll call this a safety video, and this is a safety video test. We'll have to have a unique ID for the question. So, so what I recommend doing, go ahead and create your information in a spreadsheet. And then whenever you're ready to build this information, you need to create a category for you too. So you need permissions for that too. I'm going to have to add category permissions. So you'll create a category, and so we have our question. I'm going to copy this. We have our reference number. This is going to be the question ID that we created. And the response type, I'm going to say multiple choice single answer. I'm going to add a response and be blue. Green. So I have 4 responses, and we'll say I always want each one of these responses to show, and we have to define which one is correct. And then we would select the category, and we'll have to add the category in there, and then submit. Yeah, it's going to want me to do the category. Let me see if I can add this on my end. What will be the name of the test, or what the video or category? Are you there?
Sorry, I muted myself. We had somebody walk in.
That's okay.
Yeah, maybe NERC. I don't know.
We'll call this Lubbock NERC.
Okay. That's fine.
So we'll see if this will find that category. Okay, so it found the category. We'll click submit. And we'll create a new question. And we'll say we have this in our spreadsheet following our formatting, and then this will be the second question. And we'll call this like multiple choice, multiple answer. And so Texas, we'll add a response, US. And so since we have multiple items that can be correct, then we can select those two. But if we had single answer, it's going to change the formatting and make that go away. So add this again. Do you see yourself using other forms of questions or only multiple choice? Like, are you going to use fill in the blank?
I would say not fill in the blank, maybe some true false.
Yeah. I think fill in the blank's a big stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like fill in the blank just because typos and things like that.
Okay, so we have this. I don't recommend doing none of the above or all of the above. The reason being is if you randomize these responses, since they are going to be randomized, or I recommend randomizing, that way anytime a user comes into the test, they're going to see the questions and answers in different orders. So if you had all of the above may appear on line 2, which would be kind of confusing. So to create true false, go back to a reference number. And keep in mind that there are going to be thousands of questions that are already in the system that might be invisible to you, but the system is going to know what the reference numbers are. So if you use something simple like 0, 1, chances are it's going to be in the system and it'll probably kick it back. Oh, let me change that. So that's all you have to do to create a true false. I'm going to submit that. Oh, reference number, see, it's already used, so I'm going to have to change it to 3. So, so once you have all your questions populated, I recommend proofing them before you put them in and proofing them maybe after you put them in. The reason being is once you put these questions in an exam and you assign that exam to a user, you can't make changes to the question because it's going to kind of lock it down. And the only way that you would be able to change something after it has been added and assigned to a user is if you reversion the question and reversion the test it's in. So it's kind of a tedious process. So the testing engine is going to allow us to build the actual test. So create new test. And we'll select the appropriate provider, subject, And if you notice, there's some other options that will allow you to control how this is going to function. So select grader is only going to be if you're using essay questions. So if you're not using essay questions, then you don't have to worry about having a grader in the system. If you want to define the number of attempts, let's say we only want the user to be able to take this course or test twice, you can set it here. If we leave it blank, it's going to be unlimited. So all of these are pretty much going to be self-explanatory. I don't need to go through them in much detail. The review level, this is going to allow users to review questions and correct answers. So, and each one is going to take away a little bit more of what they can view. If we come over to structure, we click next. Structure, let's say we want to set a time limit. The user will only be able to have 10 minutes in this course, and we'll say the passing score will be like 85, whatever you want. Number of entries. And this will specify the user must complete the test. If you leave this first option selected, they'll be able to exit the test and come back into the test. And I recommend randomizing these. And so adding the questions, there's a two-step process for adding the questions. We have to add a section. I'll just call this section 1. Now we have a row, and this has a little plus icon with a question mark. This will be for adding questions. And so our question bank will come up. We only have 3 questions in our bank, and we can click add all 3 questions and done. And now it's added all those questions to the test. Click next, and we have the availability. Availability is something that would need to be set. This is going to define who can search for this test. So you at least need to, if you're going to be assigning this in the learning assignment tool, you want to make sure that your name is in here. And this will allow it to come up in the learning assignment tool whenever you are assigning it in the learning assignment tool, or whenever you're searching for it in the curriculum builder. So that's all you have to do to build the test. Now this will be a learning object in the system. It'll be a test type learning object, and then you'll be able to add it to a curriculum or assign it to users individually. Are there any questions or anything you want me to go back over for the process?
No.
It's pretty much like setting up other curricula, or half of it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to do your questions first, and then your and then the test. So I'm going to finish this, and it'll stay in the system so you can review it if you want.
Okay.
What was the other item you wanted to review?
So we have in our curricula, I've set up levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 for operations and maintenance. For each one of those levels, can it create a test bank, like for clipping out of some of these courses?
Yeah, or like a cumulative test on those lessons that we've assigned.
That would be something that you'd have to do on your end through the question bank. You could create your own test.
Okay. We're actually talking about the MarTech provided offerings.
Mm-hmm. So we have the curricula that you created. Let's see.
What did we call that, Randy?
That.
They have LPL.
Should have put the LPL front, huh?
Oh, it doesn't matter where it is. Okay, so this training, so if I go to edit this training,
Which is right by your delete button.
right, yeah, that trash can, make sure you click the right thing there.
Yeah, I deleted it, of course.
Okay, yeah, so all this looks good. So you wanted to test for overall information?
Yeah. Hey, so let me speak to that real quick. So our apprenticeships are governed by the city downtown. And at the end of each one of these courses, once somebody takes it, we have to have a cumulative test over the whole section or the level right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, we're going to have to be able to give that test. And what Randy was talking about, you know, we'd like to be able to give that same test up front to see, you know, if they could basically clip out of that level. Like if we hire somebody in that's been doing this for 10 years, they might be able to, you know, advance to like level 3 within the first couple months of working here, which would give them a significant pay raise over an average beginner. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, so you want kind of a knowledge assessment or a skill assessment where you want to give users an opportunity to test out, and you also want to evaluate their learning at the end.
Yes, sir. But it would still be over those same curriculum right there, or those offerings.
So there's a few different options, or a couple of different options. One would be creating your own test in the test engine. The second option would be us creating a test for you. And I believe that would have to be a scope project, or it would essentially be a custom course.
Yeah.
And what we might do is, for example, pull 3 questions out of each one of these tests.
Right.
And then create one long test, and it would be something that would function outside of the testing engine.
Yeah.
It would function as like an individual course, and you could add that to the end of the curriculum. But yeah, it would be separate.
So, and with that, there's no way to randomly generate a test from all those offerings.
No, none of the questions for the MarTech courses are in the system or in the learning management system.
Wow. Wow. That's going to be a problem at the end of every level, Randy. And I mean, as we roll this out. Wow. So there's no way to even get a database of those tests or a spreadsheet or anything?
Yeah, I could see if I could send a spreadsheet.
And here's what I'm getting at is the way we're going to have to do this is we have a training specialist. I don't know what her title is. She has to proctor these exams, and she also has to randomly generate test questions from a database, I guess. And it has to be her. They don't trust us enough to do it ourselves for fear of cheating. And apparently there's been some of that in the past, and that's why we have lost that right. So we're going to need either way, whether it's up front to clip out or at the end to see if they pass a level, we're going to have to be able to randomly generate a test from all of those courses. And it may be 50 questions total or 75 or something. I think we had agreed on 50 or something.
Well, I don't think that any option is going to allow you to randomly generate a test.
Yeah. Well, the
Um,
only thing she's going to have to do is if we give her all the questions, she can come up with a test.
Right. So if we sent you like a spreadsheet with all of the questions, she would identify those and send those to us. And then we
Well,
would build the test.
well, I don't know, man, because I think they want to randomly generate one per each person taking the test. So one test, it's going to have to be different for every test. So
Now,
that's going to be a problem.
can they have the same questions, but all the information be randomized in the test?
I don't know.
Because
Hey, I
if you
tell
have
you what,
100 questions and the test would be, the order of the questions would be randomized and the distractors or answers would be randomized as well, but you'd
Yeah.
still have the same number.
hey, can we table that and maybe have another quick call with you, and we'll get her on the call with us.
Sure.
And that way she can kind of chime in on what she's going to need. I don't want to speak for her.
Okay.
Maybe we can do that in the next few days if you have time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries at all.
But to clarify, you could produce a spreadsheet that had the questions and the answers for all these.
Yeah, it would probably be easier to know which test you wanted or which courses you wanted questions for. Otherwise, you'd have this absolutely enormous spreadsheet that with a lot of information you don't need.
Well, all the ones for that level you're looking at right there, it would have to be all of those. And that
Okay.
would just be for maintenance level 3. We'd have to have another one for maintenance level 2, maintenance level 1, maintenance level 4.
And how soon do you need those?
Oh, it doesn't have to be super quick. A few weeks, a month. Randy?
Okay. Yeah, so if you can't have knowledge of the questions that are in the test, then I guess it kind of like takes the option of you creating the test off the table unless she was going to create it.
Well, and yeah, that's what I was getting at is I believe did we add her to this? She may be just a regular student.
What's her last name?
Powitsky, PowI. Stephanie Powitsky. Yeah, that's her. So
yeah, she's an administrator in the system.
well, boom. Okay, then she'll have that ability.
So maybe I give her the test and maybe have a training with her on how to create the test.
Exactly. And if she's doing it herself, she may opt for the 20 question exam instead of the 51. And maybe
you would be okay with.
yeah. But it may be one of those things that she just spends a lot of time up front and creates 3 tests randomly, and then she's just using one of those 3 from now on. I don't know, whatever she wants to do. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, there's special settings as well for if she's going to like really proctor this, then there are certain things that she can do to help that process.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, as I'm saying that, I mean, you're administrators in the system, and if it's something that's being built in the system, if it's going to be in the testing engine, then unless she took your test admin rights away, you'd be able to go into that test and look at the questions.
Well, I think, yeah. Some of these rules were created before she got in her position. The lady that was in there before her absolutely distrusted everything about us, and she's not nearly as bad. I think as long as the main thing is she I mean, the rules are still in place, but she's the one that basically has to do it. We'll talk to her about it.
Yeah, so you have access to my calendar or the calendar link. You can schedule a meeting if you want, or whenever you're ready.
Okay. We'll check with her here in a little while and get back with you pretty quick.
Okay.
And it may be that maybe Randy needs to work through a few things too before, I don't know. We'll see. But we'll let you know pretty quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anything else?
Yeah, as if you go back to that other screen where we have the our
Curriculum.
courses, one of the things I'd asked you about creating an instrumentation electronic technician apprenticeship. But from what I've in our apprenticeship courses, I used pretty much, I'm thinking everything that you had in your catalog as far as that.
Is it one of these?
No, it's outside of that.
Is it something that I can search for in the system?
No, we haven't created it yet. That's
Oh,
what,
okay.
we were just looking to see what if y'all have developed that for other industry or other plant, any apprenticeship programs.
And what area of study did you say it was?
Instrumentation electrician. INE or ICE, whatever, instrument controls electrician.
Yeah, I think we have a catalog with that specific topic. And we have these courses that we put together.
Yeah, if we were to take and build a curricula out of, or I mean, I guess what we're doing, can you guys build a 4-year apprenticeship, or have y'all done that? It seems like I remember talking to Mark early on in this process, and maybe y'all have done that for people.
Yeah, we can pretty much do anything. There's not a lot that we can't do. It's but I'd have to let Mark talk to you about that.
Okay. Hey, I'll shoot him an email.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll shoot him an email.
I'll send you this link.
Great.
And I'll copy him. Anything else?
Where's that email address? Well, just a second. Give us a moment here. Okay. I think that's all I had, Randy. I think we can load them videos and then we know how to build questions now.
Yeah, you gave me a plate full.
Yeah, I'll post that video and send you a link to the video. You can do YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Awesome.